Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and out of the gates, I want to say thank you to all of you out there that have subscribed, especially over the last year and a half when we resurrected this channel, and especially after we went solo. And those of you that have supported me throughout that, and especially now more than ever that we've been fully demonetized for 5+ months, couldn't do it without you. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Here's how this one's going to roll. Get your questions and comments in there. I'm going to try to roll through all these stories, and there's quite a bit of them, on the latest, aka COVID-19 84 news across the board. Some of you that were tuning in earlier checked out my Trump video where he says he's going to have a vaccine ready to go possibly by October. Played the anti-vaxxer card on Kamala, Vampirus, and Zombie Joe Biden. But there's so much to talk about, so let's thumbs it up. Subscribe and share. Remember, tomorrow, guys, at noon, we get an exclusive free and live stream over at Rockfin Tuesdays at noon. So please consider making that free account at least. And you can also support me there. But the GoFundMe is what we're going to use as a super chat mechanism, since you can't use that here on YouTube. Tom Detmore, thank you so much. Wish you the best on the big move. Yes, we're going to Iowa, baby. Ashley Rose Smith donated 10, says, thank you, Jason. Your work is much appreciated. So we'll check that throughout. The link is down below. Again, thumbs it up. Subscribe and share if you're new. 57,000 people can't be wrong. I mean, we can be wrong about some things because nobody's perfect. But overall, guys, again, without you spreading this information, we wouldn't be reaching new people. And there are so many new people in the audience out there. Remember to follow me over on Twitter. Check out the documentary films, and let's get to it. So, even pointing out that the PCR test now gets fake news checks over at Facebook. Unfortunately, the every stat about the disease is bogus claim. They take that, and then that's the fact check. Partially false information. You know, it's the authoritative sources that say you can now talk about it because the New York Times has. So, we were focusing the other day, and we're going to show you this one, that 3 out of 4 people want the COVID-19 vaccine. Now, that's globally, right? So who knows where that poll is misconstrued from, who exactly they're polling, what they believe ideologically. But 2/3 of Americans say they don't want this thing. Let me repeat that. They don't want it. They said, no, thank you. And I think 2/3 may be actually generous. Now, let's think about that for a second. The way things are going, the government officials, whether they be health officials, mayors, right, governors, that have mandated mask wearing, don't you think they're going to mandate a vaccine? They're just not going to mandate the one Trump gets ready for. It's so weird how that works. We've already had Cuomo come out and say he wouldn't recommend the Trump vaccine to New Yorkers without New Yorkers vetting it first. And remember, Zombie Joe is running on mandatory masks, as I said, right? So 2/3 don't want the vaccine. Do you think that half of America wants mandatory masks? I mean, things, folks, are about to get wild. So, remember, the media on the other side is saying 3 in 4 adults plan to get vaccinated against the coronavirus. Global survey shows. Remember to get those questions and comments in there. And now they're predicting, the fall, everything's going to go wild. We're going to have almost 500,000 deaths in the United States. The United Kingdom, okay, they had their largest leap. They're up to almost 3,000 cases, the highest jump since May. It's concerning. Here's the thing. There's that data, right? Oh, that's real concerning. Except for they had 2 people. That says 3, but there's 2 down there die. So the death rate is so low right now. It's plummeted. But the hype is around the cases. And that's a lot like Oneonta. And we're going to go over to some new information here at Oneonta, New York, where we have that hotspot. Thumbs it up, guys. So here you go. Crowds at NYU students ignore warnings to socially distance and descend on Washington Square Park. Good. Good. Take a look around. Now remember, they wanted to blame the outbreak on Oneonta for partying, but they didn't even test them beforehand. And from what I'm seeing now, it seems like a lot of those positives may have been from pool testing. Okay? Which would have inflated the numbers even more. This is madness. This is madness. Keeping the infection rate, just high enough. Oh no! Even this girl with the mask on, what are you doing? And this guy, the play acting. They still got some people brainwashed on that end. Like a mask is going to matter in a crowd like that. But again, there haven't been any outbreaks after any of these protests, right? Huge protests going on in New York and Rochester right now. Nobody's really talking about that. There were no outbreaks after Sturgis. There were no outbreaks after Nunn versus Militich. I could go on. There's no outbreaks in Portland. And now 64% of New York City restaurants say they will permanently close. Remember, this has devastated small businesses nationwide. Nationwide. And especially those of color, where over half say they will not reopen. We covered that on this channel. Whose life matters again? Whose lives? Certainly not small business owners. And meanwhile, they're saying this isn't going to end. Not only now that Trump says he's going to have an Operation Warp Speed vaccine, which again, you want to get my viewpoint on that. I just did a full video on it, right? But after their vaccine comes out, and people always tell you, what do they point to? Well, we eradicated polio. It's settled science, Jason. Really? We did this video earlier today too. Because in 2020, polio exists, and it's not just the Sudan it's breaking out in. Chad, Cameroon, I believe Nigeria, where is it? Yes, Zambia, Congo, Angola, all from oral vaccines that they continually still promote in this very Orwellian article where they admit the outbreaks are actually coming from the vaccines themselves. It's really a must read. You know what? We're gonna put that one right in the comment section, the live chat for you to read. Okay, so now Oneonta. It's really interesting. Remember we said we had 597 positives, and I think this is campus related, SUNY related, with 2,543 tests. Now that's interesting because there's definitely more than that amount of kids. And they say total positives to date are 233, but that's very odd, right? So then you get here, 233 are from pool or batch tests, where apparently they're taking group saliva. So that means some of them might not even had that. Only 36 are from the PCR test, which is also questionable. So how many people are really infected? What's the real infection rate? Are they trying to even hype that up? Make it even more of a case-demic, even though they're completely asymptomatic? Right? Because they're saying they have 710 confirmed cases here and 582 confirmed in Oneonta. I want to know exactly what's going on. Anybody with information on the inside needs to contact me at Jason Burmis on Twitter in the DMs immediately. And remember, Trump's now calling Zombie Joe and Kamala Vampiris what? Anti-vaxxers. And I think that this is really important as well, okay? Sweden's herd immunity mastermind has now been promoted by the World Health Organization. Now, we've been talking about the possibility of herd immunity in Sweden. We've shown how their numbers per 100,000, at least their death numbers, are better than Italy, Spain, Belgium, okay, the UK. And what? Those guys had huge lockdowns. Well, now, in an odd play, it seems like they're promoting this guy. So we'll see where that turns out. Before I go back and check and see if there's a super chat over in the fundraiser, I also got to mention this, guys. Julian Assange is now on trial. The Action for Assange crew is down there right now. And a judge has rejected Assange's bid to delay the hearing after they got hit with these new odd indictments that really didn't bring any more criminal charges, but then just tried to add things on that he would have to defend himself against, all these different and separate allegations. And this is the end of freedom, especially in this country. This is like a Stalinist show trial. If we bring him here, that's it. And that is a huge issue. That is the issue. Okay? Because we've already been censored so much during COVID 1984, we can't afford to be censored anymore. Okay? We got to get behind Assange. All right, let's do it. Life is like the Royal Rumble. Interesting brain. 57K. This is at least twice I have seen this number. Well done, man. Thank you. We do it live. I'll be here. Thank you, Freeman. My ego is my first enemy. The Gritch will be there. Well, I'm glad that the Gritch and Brian and the gang is here. And, of course, you, Keen James. Hey, party people. What up, peeps? What do you think of Pizzagate? Do you recommend any source on this? I've done extensive stuff on Pedogate. What's real, what's not. But I would suggest Titus Frost. You know, that's really where I was introduced to Titus and why I contacted him. I don't think he's perfect by any means, but I think he did a lot of great stuff on that. And I think he came and still does come at things from a genuine perspective. So, you know, his research is very good. It's very extensive. He dug deep. So shout out to Titus. And that's who I would recommend, that if you can get a hold of his old school documentaries. And again, I thought some of it was a little more than circumstantial, or I didn't agree with some of it, but damn, you know, he went hard, and he continues to go hard. The Purge reality show edition, whoop whoop, poop. Has there ever been a president with the personal financial ties to Modern, Agave, or GlaxoSmithKline? I don't know. I mean, how much financially is this president in on that? I'm not sure what you're actually saying here. I don't like any of them. I'll be quite honest. I think George Takei is worried about his stock portfolio if Biden loses. Hashtag free Kyle. Fiery peaceful protests. Finally, I made it to an AMA. Where would you rather be, Jason? Oneonta or Melbourne or Australia, where I am? Obviously, over at Oneonta. As sad as I see, you know, it is to see my town go to total and complete dog shit. Melbourne is a scary place to be right now. A very scary place to be. We've done 2 different videos. We showed you the pregnant woman. We showed you the other man getting his front door battered down, all for talking about protests online. It's as Orwellian as it gets. I'd rather be on Mars than Australia. I wish I didn't move back to Australia from Colombia now. Also, what will be the next doco after Shade the Motion Picture? Anything in the pipeline? You know, the docs are so tough to do. So tough to do. Let's see where I'm at in Iowa this year. Y'all should watch Mouthy Buddha's Pedogate. Heavily censored and 1 and 3 removed from YouTube. I don't know. I think I've seen some of his stuff on there, but not all of it. Sorry for the spam, but I never get to the AMA. Melbourne's last requirement to fully get out of lockdown is 0 cases in 28 days. See y'all in 2025. That's nuts. That's nuts for something with a 0.6 at best from the WHO's death rate, a 0.6% death rate. They want 0 cases in 28 days in a place like Melbourne. That's nuts. You know, I should have played that clip. I think it was from Sunrise Television, where just about everybody on the Sunrise TV was talking about it and could not believe it. This is what chats are for. They've cut us from the societal norms, and chats are our last method of communicating live and freely. Good point. How scary is continuing the ramped up censorship on YouTube? I think the last American Vagabond just got another slap on the wrist. Google moderators are the latest thing. Tell me more. What do you mean? Modding searches? No modding YouTube chats. Interesting. Let's see. That was a huge jump there, guys. Thumbs the video up, subscribe, and share. Oh, what do we got here? I saw it last night. They're also blocking moderator comments. Wow. It's a perfect storm for an internet blackout to take place. Testing the water to see how they can change it when it comes back online. Well, look what Facebook's doing. Facebook, we did a video on that today. They're paying people to deactivate their accounts. It's nuts. 57K, guys. We did it. 57K AMA. Woo! Little celebration during COVID 1984. You know, free humanity can still win. I don't think we're gonna lose, man. We better not lose. We better not lose to a bunch of transhumanist pieces of demonic filth. How about that? No matter what you believe, whether you believe in angels and demons, that's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about these people that they don't think twice. They don't even look at you like a human being. They are soulless. Apathetic isn't the word. They look at you with a disdain. Oh, whew. Yet they let people spam Pornhub links with no intervention. Yeah, right? I mean, when my stuff actually gets posted, those like Asian women, weird ones, or it's so weird. Congrats on the subs. You deserve 50K more. Thank you so much. The amount of flooding the zone that's taking place, it's a little wonder people struggle with the truth about COVID 1984. The government will shut the power down, and Trump will go along to keep his QAnon psyop going. They want us to think it's an attack from elsewhere. I don't understand what that even means. Except for, obviously, the Trump administration is pushing the Q thing as hard as they can. I mean, you look at Flynn and all these other guys, you know, they're not stupid. I'm sure they've known about it for quite some time. Doesn't make it real in the sense that everybody is claiming it's real. And I think we all know that. Once you find your way down certain rabbit holes, you never find your way out. Gates is at the bottom of every one of them. Oh, I have so many questions. Trump links with QAnon are real. No, they're not. No. Again, man, listen, at this point, who knows what QAnon is, what it's developed into. But it's always been such a pro-Trump faction, you got to wonder who had control of it in the beginning and why, right? Now, is that saying that there's really people on the inside that are taking care of business and fighting the deep state? No. Bill Barr is as deep state as it gets. He's balls deep state. 00 balls deep state. That's who Bill Barr is. Okay? And you know what? I was listening to InfoWars the other day, and literally, Jones wanting to go 00 balls into 00 balls deep state Bill Barr. He's like, boy, if Bill Barr, you know, if he had a talk show, I'd listen to that. I'm like, what? I mean, come on.
On like every issue, I'll listen to this guy, and he is just so articulate and so intelligent. If he had a radio show, I'd be listening to it.
What? This is the fixer. This is the youngest attorney general under George H.W. Bush, the guy that brought in the COG shadow government the way we have it today through the National Programs Office, through his little cartel crew of Cheney, Wolfowitz, Rumsfeld, and others. Give me a break. When he got his actual law degree, when he passed the bar, he was already a CIA agent. So, you know, you got to watch yourself, Fred. If you're new to the game, I suggest you go check out the channel over the last year plus. Check out the documentaries Invisible Empire and Shade the Motion Picture. And the Fed, watching every spectrum of media, tell me to doubt the things I see with my own eyes, tells me how effed we are. Does anyone know if Assange had to be rearrested today? That I don't know, but the sketches showed that he wasn't in the plastic box. So I'm hoping he was actually at least allowed to sit with his lawyers. I don't know whether that's the truth or not. It's tough. One hell of a global exercise we are going through, psychopaths. That's because some rabbit holes are portals to parallel dimensions. Bum, bum, bum. Like Land of the Lost, Gates really is massively behind the virus, vaccines, depopulation, and authoritarian control. What happened in Burma's brigade? Psychopaths are normalizing sociopathic tendencies. What up, Gritch? The Gritch is in the hizzy. Good. How are you tonight, Fred? Thank you, Ariel. I appreciate that. Excuse me. And that's the other thing. I'm not allowed to have a cough as I walk down the street. Like people look, especially he's not wearing a mask. Oh boy, he's coughing and not wearing a. Arrest that man. Arrest that man. Joe Biden here with an important message. Biden, corn pop, was a bad dude who led a gang of pedophiles. So I apologized to him and then joined him sniffing my way into a president. Only a vice presidency, let's hope. Has anyone seen the Come On Man remix with Joe Biden? It's fantastic. I think if you follow me on Twitter, you go check that out. You'll find some of that. Yeah, I'm a good dude. It's afternoon over is Stasiland, Australia. Hello from Seattle. Hello, Jason. You should do a video with The Last American Vagabond. He was on last week. I think we talked for almost an hour. It's free on the channel. In fact, just to show you how we do it, because we do it so many times, we do it several times a day here. Again, we couldn't do it without your support. And remember, if you want to ask a question, skip the line. Go to the GoFundMe down below. We use it as a super chat mechanism. You leave a message, and we read that there. That's how we do it because we've been fully demonetized here. But let's see. Let's scroll it down. There it is right there. It's right here. A week ago, the Rockefeller plan is upon us with The Last American Vagabond. So please go check that out. It is an hour long, and it was a great conversation that we had because we don't always agree. And I think that's important. Divergent opinions are good. Oh, why haven't Biden sniffing videos been making the rounds again? It's crazy, right? I mean, that stuff is, come on, man. Happened last week. I mean, they're in some circles. I'm sure they're mowing them down on all the social media, just taking them down, saying it's false video, it's doctored, they slowed it down, they put music to it, it's altered, whatever they can. Hi from Australia. He just had Ryan on not too long ago. Correct, I did. Here, Gritch, did you move? We got it on the 1st. We're there on the 1st. October 1st, got the place. Another few weeks in New York. Actually, it just turned the 8th on midnight. So, wow, just around 3 weeks, yeah. Craziness. Fire still burning, hey? Keep it up, Jason from Canada with love. Also found a court case that Ontario nurses won for not having to wear masks. No evidence that they stop or slow influenza. Just crazy. Oh, Lord. It's hard to be humble because Gritch is perfect in so many ways. LMAO. What up, Burmis? Congrats, Jason and Godspeed. Thank you, Amy. Yep, the breeze is bringing up here, or what's that? Bringing up here, Gritch. Let's see. It's definitely more than 2/3 that aren't taking the vaccine or don't want the vaccine or won't take the vaccine, Ludwig. You think so? Interesting thought process. He flip-flopped on his national mask mandate today. Who did? Trump? Or did Biden? Did he go, come on, man? Come on, man? Or did he know where he was? I hear it reached 121 degrees in Cali the other day. It was 0 here last night. Mandatory masks equal mandatory vaccines. Correct. No vax. Yeah, right. My God, this is exhausting. Pork chop. Mandatory face diapers and forever violence. Kamalarchy 2020. UN licking their globalist chops over this. I agree, pork chop, the hot spot. You got my thumb, Jason. Okay, now leave me alone. The Erie Ferry. Oh, I wonder if that's Claire, who I got those university stats from. Plandemic, fractional magic. I'm willing to bet those death rate numbers at the start are bogus, including the deaths of people who died with not from COVID. It's New York City. What do you expect? Erie. I was down there recently. I was one of the only normal humans not wearing a mask outside. LMAO. It's nuts. Again, I don't know how you muzzle yourself out in nature. It's craziness. No outbreaks in Olympia. Hey there, Erie Ferry. There were no outbreaks. Not giving a shizza about government anymore. I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to vote. I'm just going to laugh at them. Okay, Nye. Viral load is major virus factor. Oops, Mr. Gritch. Virus so deadly. Hundreds of thousands of people have to get tested to find out. I know. Did any of us happen to see the Australian reporter that was thrown to the ground and arrested covering the Melbourne protest this weekend? I missed that one. Gross. Polio comes back twice years later. Australia seems effed. Some dude whose mom died in February was sent notice his mom tested positive in June. What about the 12-year-old in Hong Kong? They have known for years that the oral polio vaccine can cause infection. It's nuts. That article is totally nuts. Agenda 2021 is happening now. Mass vaccines are coming, and people are going to die. Do you think hyperinflation is a possibility in the near future? Sure do. I imagine some sort of blockchain currency is on the horizon, and I've been wondering how they may implement it. Well, I think Venmo and PayPal, which are the same company, have already said they're going to implement Coinbase-style wallets for all crypto. You start there. JP Morgan has their own crypto in the works. There's a lot they could be doing. Australia is beta. No, but saw a video out of Spain of a girl who was arrested and escorted off the beach. Yes, I tweeted that out today, where she went surfing instead of self-isolating, even though she is asymptomatic. Saw that too, but that's what I expect in Hong Kong. Still very angering. Oh my God, messed up Keen. Let's see. I want to escape Melbourne, I hear ya. I'm currently at university doing remote just to avoid these sham tests. Yeah, I'm not taking any test. And we've got all these contact tracers LARPing in Oneonta, acting like they're doing great things for people. Give me a break. Let's see. Agenda 21 equals the agenda for the 21st century. Let's see. 3 more weeks of stage 4, geez. And then you also have Agenda 2030. Thank you for showing the GoFundMe there. My boy, MF Doom Mad Villain. Gotta politicize everything. They can't just stick to the truth. Yay, I caught you live. Yeah, we did it late. Let's see, does a good covering that. Gaslighting and nonlinear warfare at level 10 this year. End of the free speech. Agreed. Shout out from Derek Bros you got earlier. Oh, Erie Fairy got that. Cool. Oof, it's hot in here, and it's getting a little late. Guys, I appreciate everybody for stopping by. I know this is a shorter one. It's only about 30 minutes. Titus's last stream was amazing, was it? Awesome. Much love for Action for Assange here in DC. Yes, go get at those guys. Definitely, they are doing the work that a lot of people aren't. They're out there. But 57K, we did it. I couldn't do it without you. Once again, if you want to financially support me, do so through this. But you can remember tomorrow, noon, free accounts. We're live at Rockfin at noon, free accounts. Noon, free account. Make a free account. Noon. Because once they kick me off of YouTube, this is where I'm going. That's going to be my spot. Okay? Thumbs this up. Subscribe. Share. Check out the documentary films. Good night, everybody. I love you, and I'll see you on the flip side.